Welcome friends, I am Dr. V.K. Chauhan, homeopathic physician. We are revising homeopathic remedy Bryonia Alba. This is part 1 PQR review, and this is from the Allen's Keynote, and this is a good study for BHMS students and interns. So let us go to this work by H.C. Allen, Keynote and Characteristics. We are following this work, and while going through this work we find that each sentence represents a PQR or red line symptom. The only drawback what we find here with this text is that it is disorganized in sequence and continuity. You will see the total text which is available in Allen's Keynote is like this, and we are going to review it, and while reviewing we find that there are 21 PQRs. Let us go to the first PQR. It is best adapted to persons of gouty or rheumatic diathesis prone to so-called bilious attack. So this particular PQR tells us about diathesis part of the remedy. PQR 2 tells us Bryonia patient are irritable, inclined to be vehement and angry. So this is the mental aspect of the Bryonia patient what we have. PQR 3 tells us about dark or black hair, dark complexion, firm muscular fiber, dry, nervous, slender people. So it has got two components. One is the physical component, somatic component, and second is the people who are slender but they are nervous. This is a kind of temperamental aspect about the Bryonia patient. PQR 4 tells us about the pains. They are stitching, tearing, worse at night, worse by movement, inspiration, coughing, and better by absolute rest and lying on the painful side. So this is a physical general, especially in terms of pains. PQR 5 is excessive dryness of mucous membranes of entire body, lips and tongues, dry, parched, cracked, stool dry, as if burnt, cough dry, hard, racking with scanty expectoration, urine, dark and scanty, great thirst. This is also a physical general symptom about Bryonia alba. PQR 6 is about vicarious menstruation, nosebleed when the menses should appear, blood splitting or hemoptysis. This is also a physical general here. We go to PQR 8, complaints when warm weather sets in after cold days, from cold drinks or ice in hot weather, after taking cold or getting hot in summer, from chilling when overheated, kicks the covers off from exposure to draft, cold wind, suppressed discharges of menses, milk, or eruption of acute exanthema. So this particular feature is telling us about the nature of symptoms is ailments from. There are physical causes which can bring about certain problems to Bryonia patient. PQR 9, one of the chief characteristics of Bryonia is aggravation from any motion and corresponding relief from absolute rest, either mental or physical. So this is also a general modality. PQR 10 tells us about desires things immediately, which are not to be had or which when offered are refused. So this is a kind of a temper tantrum and belongs to mental general of Bryonia. PQR 11 tells us about children dislike to be carried or to be raised. This is also a mental general. PQR 12 tells us about delirium, talks constantly about his business, desires to get out of bed and go home. So delirium can be in acute brain syndrome. PQR 30, constant motion of left arm and left leg. So this is a kind of convulsion which we find with this remedy. It is also a physical general. PQR 14, patient cannot sit up from the nausea and faintness. So deadly nausea, it is a particular general from GIT. We go to the next, PQR 15, great thirst for large quantities at large intervals. This is also from the desire and it is a physical general. PQR 16 tells us about the headache of Bryonia when stooping as if brain would burst through forehead from ironing, on coughing in the morning after rising or when first opening eyes, commencing in the morning, gradually increasing until evening from constipation. These are the particular generals and there is a causation specific reasons are also there along with this. So ailments from especially headache, maybe from constipation or early morning, time modalities are there. We get to PQR 17, pressure as from stone at pit of the stomach, relieved by erectations. This is a particular general from GIT. PQR 18 is constipation, inactive, no inclination, stools are large, hard, dark, dry as if burned on going to sea. Means on traveling, sea voyage, constipation is there. PQR 19 tells us about diarrhea during a spell of hot weather, bilious, acrid, with soreness of anus, like dirty water of undigested food, from cold drinks when overheated, from fruit or sauerkraut, worse in morning, on moving, even a hand or foot. PQR 20 is mammy heavy, of a stony hardness, pale but hard, hot and painful, must support the breast. PQR 21 tells us about the cough, dry, spasmodic, with gagging and vomiting, with stitches inside of the chest, with headache as if would fry to pieces, worse after eating, drinking, entering a warm room, and deep inspiration. We go to the relationship. Complementary is alumina and rust ox. Similar is to bell, hyper for hasty speech and hasty drinking, to ranunculus bulbosum in pleuritic or rheumatic pains of the chest, to tilia in aching heaviness in hepatic region, better by lying on right side, greatly aggravated from lying on the left side. Turning to the left causes a dragging sensation. After Bryonia, you find alum, kalicarb, nux, phosphorus, rust ox and sulfur. Aggravation is by motion, exertion, touch, cannot sit up, gets faint or sick or both, by warmth, warm fold, suppressed discharges of any kind. Amelioration is by lying, especially on painful side, pressure, rest, cold, eating cold things. So friends, thank you very much for your patient listening.